Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel Code Logic. So in this series we are seeing the hospital management system. So in our previous video we have seen how to create the dashboard. In this video we are going to see how to add a new doctor in our system. So we'll see the demo. So you can see here we have a tab here to add doctor. So when we click on this button, so there will be a dialog opened up. Okay, so inside which we are going to fill some details, and after that there is a departments. So all the departments will be listed, and there is a birthday section. For that we have used date, and there is a gender. Okay, so when we click on save button, the doctor will be added there. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's get started. So we'll go inside our project, inside which there is a doctor section. Okay, so we go to the doctor component.html file, and there we have created one container class inside which there is a one row. Okay, and there will be one column. So we have used injected bootstrap, so that's why we are using bootstrap's css classes. Okay, so here we'll go to the material angular.io. Inside components we have card section here. Okay, we'll use these sample cards. So there are different types of cards available, so we'll use this simple card, and there is a no css. Okay, so these are the methods, components which are present inside the cards. Okay, so card content, card title, card footer. Okay, so we are going to use the card content here. So for that, uh, we'll inject this line inside our material module. Okay, and in imports array we'll use mat card module. Okay, and in exports array also we have injected this module inside our app module.ts file. Okay, so here we'll use mat card content, and inside which we are going to add doctor. Here we'll use icon, mat icon, group add. Okay, you can see here this is the add doctor, and there is icon. So now we'll add some margin top. Okay, 3, and for the card we are going to add the classes, add doc, and inside doctor component.css file we are going to write some css for that. So first is color. So for color we are going to use this color. Okay, we paste it here, and we'll use another attribute, center, text center. Okay, so that content will be at the center. So when we hover on this card, there is no much update. So for that we'll use the hover attribute. Okay, so mat card hover, and we'll use transform scale. Okay, so you can see here, so when we hover on that, it's get some size, its size is getting bigger. Okay, so now on this we are going to write some click method, add doctor. Okay, so we'll copy this name, and we'll go inside doctor component.ts file, inside which we'll add it. So we have defined one method here, add doctor. So whenever user clicks on this, we are going to open up the dialog. So first we'll check is it working or not. So for that I have added alert here. Okay, you can see add doctor method clicks. Okay, so it's working. Now we have to click, when we click on this method we have open a dialog. So for that we are going to create one component here, nggc component slash dashboard doctor slash add doctor. Okay, so we have created one component, add doctor here. Now we'll go inside our app module.ts file. So you can see here, so there are lots of material modules. Okay, so we are going to cut it from here, and we are going to add it inside our material module.ts file. Okay, inside exports and import array. Okay, and we'll quick fix and we'll import all the necessary packages. Okay, it looks good now. Here we need to create one array, that is entry component, and inside which we are going to add one component, add doctor component. Okay, so this is a necessary step. We'll remove not imported modules from here. Okay, we'll close both the files. Now here inside add doctor, first we'll inject the dialog from material dialog. Okay, so you can see it's not injected inside our material module, so that's why it's showing error. So first we'll add it here, material dialog. You can see here there is a API call, so we'll copy this line and we'll paste it here. Okay, so here also we are going to add that mat dialog module, so we have to add it in exports as well as import array. Okay, so here we'll quick fix it. Now inside add doctor, we are going to create one constant dialog config of type material dialog config. So for that we'll use mat dialog config. Okay, now these dialog config have some properties. So first is disable close. So when we click outside the dialog, so that dialog should not get closed. That's why I added a disable close as true and autofocus true. Okay, so you'll see these properties when I show the demo. Now inside we have created one variable data, and inside which we are going to pass some data, that is title. So what is the title should display on that dialog box. So now we'll create another constant dialog reference of type this dialog. Okay, so dialog dot open, inside which we are going to pass the component. So for we have created new component here, add doctor. So we have passed the component here, and we are going to pass this dialog config. Okay, now we'll see. So when we click on this, so dialog is opening here. Okay, you can see background is kind of blur, and when you click outside, so it's not closing. Okay, so that's what we have defined there, right? So now we'll go inside a app module.ts file, inside which we are going to add two more modules, that is reactive forms module and forms module. Okay, we'll close this file. Now here inside add doctor component.ts file, we'll define some variables. First we'll define a form of type form group. Then inside constructor we'll have some variables, so private fb of type form builder. Now we'll define some variables like title, what is the title should display on that form, which is of type string. So here inside a doctor component, you can see we are passing the title, so we have to fetch it in our add component.ts file. So for that we'll use here inject method, mat dialog data of type any. Okay, and here also we are going to use dialog reference of type mat dialog reference, and inside that we are going to pass the add doctor component. Now in constructor we are getting data that is from the data variable, so data dot title. Okay, now add doctor component.html file. We have created one mat dialog title variable, okay, inside which we are going to pass the title, and now we'll see. Okay, you can see here registered doctor, which is what we have passed earlier. Now on ng on init we are going to create a form inside which we'll have fields like id, name, and we are going to add validators also. For name it's required. For mobile its max length is 10 and min length is 10. Okay, then for email validator required and the validator's email, then gender, department, and birth date. Okay, so we are going to create variables of that name also: name, mobile, email, gender, department, and birth date. We'll have another variable qualification which will define the doctor's qualification. Okay, now here inside add doctor component.html file we'll use mat dialog content tag, inside which we'll use form group equals to form. Now for this we are going to add some css, so mat dialog content, we'll add width 600 pixels. Here we are going to create the mat grid list. Then we are going to import it in our material module. Okay, and we'll inject it inside our both the arrays, import as well as export. For this mat grid list there are features. So column, so how many columns do you want? So in my case I'll be using 2 columns. So here inside a css for mat grid list we are going to add some css again. So overflow should be hidden. Now here mat grid title, inside which we are going to create one div tag. Here you can see there is a form field. Okay, example, you can see there are lots of examples present. Okay, we are going to copy this one. We'll copy this code, mat form field, and we'll paste it here. So we'll remove this appearance field, and we'll remove this method also. Okay, so first we'll add the label full name, then we'll go inside mat module.ts file, and here we'll inject this mat form field module. Okay, now here for form control name we are using name, it looks good. Now inside a material module.ts file we have to inject the input. Okay, so for that we'll go to the API section. Inside input we'll copy this line and we'll add it in our material module.ts file. Okay, we'll inject it inside imports array and exports array. And we'll add the error ng if form.get name dot invalid. Okay, so that error message will be shown only when form is invalid, or it is touched, or it is dirty. Okay, so similar to this we are going to create some more variables, more form fields. So it should be mobile number, form control name is mobile, so we'll replace it all over it. Error message is enter valid mobile number, then email. Okay, enter valid email, then the qualification. Okay, when you click on this you can see all the four fields have present there in with the error messages. Okay, so now we'll create another mat grid list, the second column, mat grid tiles. Before that first we are going to use the radio buttons. Okay, so you can see there are options, there are examples, so we'll check the code. Okay, we'll copy the code and we'll paste it here. So we'll change its values to male and female. Okay, so then select gender. We'll create another field We'll copy paste it. Value will be other. Now we'll add one tag here, mat label, and we'll change its full name to the gender. Inside API, we'll copy the line and we'll paste it here, mat radio module, and we'll inject it inside the imports as well as exports array of the material module. Okay, so you can see the error is gone, and we have added one color property here, color to primary. And for the mat radio button, we are going to add some CSS. So dot mat radio button, margin right 15 pixel. Okay, now we'll add a BR tag there. You can go to the select option, so there are lots of examples available. Okay, so we'll select this one. From here we'll copy the mat form field. Inside TS they have created interface and they have arrays. Okay, similarly we are going to create the arrays. So first we'll paste it here, the code, then we'll change the label to the departments. We'll remove this appearance field. Now we'll remove this ng model. We'll use your form control name to the department. Okay, we'll change name to the department. So now we'll create one array of type string departments. So I have a list, I'll add it here. Okay, you can see. Now we'll use this departments array here inside a ng for late department of departments. Its value will be department because it's a string. Okay, and then inside which we are going to add the department. This mat option is not present here. Okay, so for that we'll go to the Angular materials website, inside which API we'll copy this mat select module, and then we'll add it inside a material module.ts file. We'll import it inside imports and exports array. Now we'll see, when we click on the add doctor, you can see there is a gender and this department list is coming up. Now we'll go to the date picker. Here you can see there is a sample. So we'll see the code, we'll copy the code and we'll paste it here. We'll go to the API, we'll copy this line, we'll import it inside material module.ts file, and we'll inject it inside imports and exports array. Okay, We'll change its label to birth date. Then we'll add the form control name as a birth date. Now we are good to go. So we'll remove this appearance fill. Now this radio button also, we have added the form control name as a gender. Now we'll go inside our form. Okay, there is some error, I think. We'll see what it is. Okay, so for that we'll inject here a date picker module. So mat native date picker is also important. Okay, so this is a necessary field. We'll inject it. Now we'll see there is no error. We click on add doctor. Okay, so everything is working here. See the date. Okay, so we have this mat error. Okay, so we'll copy it and we'll add it for department and the birth date. Okay, we'll change its form name to birth date. We'll change its message, choose valid birth date. We'll close this form tile, mat tile. Okay, now we have to create the uh, buttons. So you can see here these are the two buttons. So we'll open the code and you can see inside this dialog animation we have this code. We'll copy it, we'll paste it here. We have created two buttons, cancel and register, and on click of that we are going to call the methods. So cancel registration, this will be a method's name, and another method will be there, register doctor. Okay, so we are going to define this method inside the add doctor component.ts file. Okay, so this button will be disabled when form is invalid. So you can see here now it's a disabled. So when we add the values here, this button will be enabled. Okay, so we'll go inside the buttons. You can see here these are the buttons, raised buttons. So we'll change its type to matte raised button with a color primary. Okay, so we'll paste it here, and for the cancel button we'll change it to the matte raised button. So you can see it's raised button now, so it looks good now. Okay, so we are going to write the code for the cancel registration button. So here we'll call this dialog ref dot close method, and inside register doctor we'll call this dialog ref dot close, and we'll pass the form value. So form dot value. Okay, so we have written data from add doctor component to the doctor component.ts file. So here you can see this is a dialog reference. So dialog ref dot after close method is there. After closed, we are going to subscribe and we'll check for the data. If there is a data, then we are going to print it on the developers window, that is console.log we have used here. Now we'll check the demo. Okay, so we'll register now. You can see here there is the data coming up with all the values. Okay, so now we are going to add this data inside our firestore. So we'll create one interface here inside shared folder. The interface name will be doctor. Okay, again we are going to create the services. So we'll create a service here, data service, nggs shared service. Okay, now we'll go to our model and service. So we'll open the service first. So here we'll inject the Angular Firestore module AFS. Okay, now we are going to write one method add doctor, which will take parameter as a doctor of type any. So this will be a object. Now we are going to call this AFS dot collection, inside which there will be one collection doctor. Okay, dot add, and we'll pass this doctor object. So first we'll create the ID for doctor. So doctor dot ID equals to AFS dot collection, sorry, AFS dot create ID. So now for the doctor interface, I have created some variables like name, mobile, email, qualification, birth date. Okay, so now we'll go inside the components inside doctor. Here add doctor component dot ts file. So if the data is present, then we are going to call this method which we have written now. So for that we'll inject it here, private AFS, sorry, data API of type data service. So if data, then we are going to call the data API dot add doctor, and we'll pass this data. Okay, and after the data gets added to the Firebase, so we are going to show the input to the end user. So for that we are going to add some snack bars. So there is a snack bar. So you can see this type of snack bar we are going to create. Okay, so for that we'll go to the API section. So there are lots of options there. So we'll go to the example first. Okay, this example will close the snack bar after 5 seconds. Okay, you can see when we click on that button, this will open a snack bar. Okay, and there is a duration in seconds. Okay, so they have injected the snack bar inside a constructor. So we are going to create this type of snack bar. So for that we'll go to the ts file, we'll copy the code and we'll paste it here. Open snack bar, and we are going to add this snack bar in our constructor. So for that we'll use here private snack bar of type mat snack bar. So we have not injected that, so we'll copy this mat snack bar, and we are going to inject this module inside our material module.ts file. So we'll go to the API and we'll copy this line and we'll paste it here. Now we have injected that in our import and export array. We'll inject all the dependencies. Okay, now we are going to call this open snack bar method, and we are going to pass two parameters. First is registration of doctor is successful, so this will be a message that will be printed on the UI. And another is name for that button. Okay, so we'll see now. So first we'll open our Firestore. So there is no data currently, so we are going to register one doctor now, and that data will be shown here. Okay, so when click on this register doctor, we'll fill the data to register a doctor. Okay, now we'll click on the register button. You can see the snack bar is opened. Okay, so now we'll go inside our Firestore and we'll refresh it. So you can see here there is a data coming up. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Stay tuned for the next videos. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.